Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is MTG Moxman. Tonight, our planar visit and lore will be to Innistrad. Stay tuned, it's coming up next. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is MTG Moxman. Guess what? It has been such a crazy day. Trying to get all this stuff done, all these videos, all in one day, that I'm eating nachos and cheese. That's right. We got a lore video to do. I did the Jewel Lotus. I did my ripoff video. And now, I haven't eaten dinner. It's almost bedtime. Gotta get this video out because I promised. Always keep your promises. But nachos and cheese are so good. I know. You've never seen me eat them, but trust me. I know they're not good for me. They're so tasty. Alright guys, today we are visiting Innistrad, a world that is like totally messed up, you understand. This reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons so much, it's like a parallel like world. Innistrad itself, the plane, is basically a horror gothic plane. It is filled with like evil monsters and zombies and scarags. You've got vampires, werewolves, hybrids of the two. There are like a million reasons why you would not want to visit this place. And guess what? It wasn't always like this. This is like a recent development in the last, 10,000 years. It didn't happen before this. So tonight we'll get to explore that a bit and see what happens. Now remember, we're talking mainly about the plane of Innistrad. We're not talking about all the individual characters. We're talking about the world itself and how it's kind of shaped and why it's like this. Anyone who would like to see individual lore videos on characters from this, you can leave comments in the comment section below or email me. But remember, lore videos I'm going to have to space out as they don't get nearly enough hits to make them worthwhile. Okay? I do it because you guys love to see them. Alright? So let's keep it up. Let's get as many views as we can for this baby. Alright, here we go. Step number 1. Alright, now Innistrad, it's home to mainly humans. Okay? You've got some zombies, some ghouls, werewolves, demons started coming later on, and you've got a lot of vampires. Now, this whole thing is featuring in Gothic styles. This is like Strahd von Zarovich from Dungeons & Dragons from the Ravenloft realm. So if you want to see a cool, like dark, scary world, visit that particular module of D&D and visit Ravenloft. It's a messed up place, man. Like nothing happens that's ever good. It's always bad. Same as what happens here on Innistrad. The people are constantly in terror. They're constantly scared. They're scared for food. They're scared of being attacked by vampires, werewolves. They're afraid of ghouls, ghosts, demons. Like, can you imagine your every waking day? I bet nobody makes it past 20 before they die because they're freaking out all the time. But all the monsters always coming to get you. Alright? Like, that's pretty freaked out, man. Now, Innistrad's moon is like kind of like a boon and a bane. Okay? So, as it changes, different things happen on the planet. Werewolves gain their power waning and forward. So do vampires. Right? But the brighter the moon is in that open sky, supposedly the silver that comes from the moon's grains keeps vampires weaker and keeps the creatures from changing at certain phases. So that's kind of cool to know, and it gives the populace hope. Because when your populace is being totally beleaguered and attacked all the time, and people are being wiped out all the time, that doesn't give you a lot to go for when you look at something like this. It's very scary for these people. They're terrified all the time. Who'd want to have kids in this world? I don't know. Brave folk, man. Brave people. Now, the moon also represents Avacyn, the angel of hope for this planet, okay? You have to understand that, like, she protects the people from the horror. Her being alive strengthens all kinds of boundaries and wards all over Innistrad. So when people are out there, if they're near one of her runes and she's alive, it powers the rune and keeps certain creatures away. It stops zombies from coming into towns. It stops graveyards, the dead rising up randomly. Doesn't mean that people can't go up and grave rob and go put scarags together and like stitch dead bodies together and animate them with necromancy. That doesn't stop that. But all the mass armies of dead that would happen are stopped by just Avacyn alone. She is the angel of hope on that world. And as we'll find out later on, she was a created being. She's not native to that world, okay? She is not like an angel created by Sarah, a planeswalker, okay? You'll find out. So, but it's still kind of cool. Like, Avacyn's a tough girl. Alright, so the moon on this planet has 3 phases, okay? Now, when it's harvest moon, it's kind of like a red moon, that's when vampires are at their strongest. They're very bold and brave, and they go right out looking for people to suck on. But make it any easier, right? Like, they're scary. Then you have, like, the hunter's moon, and this is, like, kind of like their fall and winter. This is when there's, like, no food available anywhere in Innistrad. All the crops are done for the season. It's too cold to grow anything. So the people in the towns, the hunters and stuff, have to go out into the woods and hunt for live game like deer, bear, that kind of thing. But you gotta remember, going out there's dangerous because there's werewolves and vampires and ghouls and ghosts and demons. And so a lot of these guys don't come back. They go out in hunting parties of 20, they come back with 2, and maybe they got a dead animal with them. Imagine how terrifying that hunter's moon will be, right? When the food is scarce. Imagine that time in your life when, if up here in Canada, it gets really cold. But I don't have to worry about, demons coming to get me in the middle of the winter if I go hunting for food. Right? Very terrifying. Now, the new moon is kind of like their summer. This is like long, bright days. Monsters tend to stay to the woods. This is the best time of year. And supposedly when babies are born during the new moon, it's considered they're holier than most people. And they tend to become priests, it seems. So, really cool to know that if you're born at that time, you're kind of like, yo, man, I'm special. And you're going to, like, take on the demons and vampires and keep people safe. Very awesome. Again, very reminiscent of Ravenloft and this guy Jandar Sunstar. Very, very similar. You should look that book up if you want, guys. It's pretty cool. All right, now, Innistrad, a little bit of its early history. Now, Innistrad didn't have vampirism. Okay? There was a guy named Edgar Markov. Okay? Now, Edgar Markov was trying to create a way to stop famine because crops do fail. The harvest moon comes, it's very cold outside, and things don't grow. If they don't grow enough, people die. So he was trying to use a way using magic to create enough food for everyone. But instead, he created a form of immortality. He was goaded on by a demon. And the demon twisted what he was trying to do. So he basically created bloodsuckers. People who would feed on other people. Because that way, there's less mouths to feed with crops. And the weak people could be killed off by these new vampires to keep populations in check. Edgar didn't like it, but he was tired of seeing people die all the time in large groups. So he tried it on his grandson, Soren. So he took it himself, and he did it to Soren. Who does that to their grandkid? Come on. That's a horrible story. Sorry, that was 5, yeah. So, the process that he used to create Soren into this immortal vampire, when he does this, what ends up happening is it actually causes Soren's planeswalker spark to go off. And when it goes off, when the spark ignites, he's just flung away. Wow, he says goodbye and he's gone. He starts visiting the multiverse. Now, we know Soren today as a Bellevant. He goes everywhere. He just takes life's pleasures randomly. He shows up. He takes certain things seriously like the Eldrazi, but he doesn't get pestered by very much because as a vampire, he's going to live forever. Now, most beings, though, you understand, most planeswalkers now, the planeswalkers are post-mending. They live, they grow old, they die. But not in the case of somebody like Soren, who's already immortal. So, next to like people like Ugin and Nicobolus, he'd be considered a very powerful planeswalker. Like, he's way tougher than you think. Okay, so you gotta remember that, right? Now, he keeps tabs on Innistrad. He visits there, he pops in from short little jaunts, but one of his jaunts back, which is like 100 years after he's last been there, he realizes vampires are hunting humans to the point of extinction. There's almost no humans left to eat. So, the vampires have grown in number, they become very encroaching on the natural food source for them. So, what ends up happening is Soren uses the myths and stories of Innistrad, and he creates an angel, Avacyn, the angel of hope. He creates her with magic. And this, along with all the wards and stuff that he builds with her, enables her to hold back the darkness, give humans new hope to hold out against the evil. And it's also meant to save vampires, because if vampires have no food source, they'll start cannibalizing each other until there's nobody left. So Soren doesn't want that either for any of his ancestors, so he makes the vampires stay at bay with Avacyn. Avacyn gives the humans hope, and the humans are allowed to now multiply in number again, which can be picked off again by stragglers from the vampires. So it's back kind of like his version of a 50-50 balance, right? So, I'm just saying that'd be pretty cool to see that happen. Now, oh, what happened there? Sorry about that. Now, on the plane of Innistrad, you have to understand, since there's all these monsters, the church rose up from Avacyn. They had like native kind of like druidic magic before this, but when Avacyn was created, and everyone saw how powerful she was and how other angels rallied to her, she forced back the darkness. Humans had hope. And when you have hope, hope's a powerful thing, guys. You gotta imagine this in their world. Everything's destroyed. Everything's dying. People are being killed off every day. And all of a sudden, you have hope again. So people start going to church. The Church of Avacyn. Even though she's not truly a god, people look at her that way. Imagine how people would see somebody like that who can just hold back evil beings and kill them outright. She's that powerful. So as this happens, now you got priests blessing silver. And that silver kills the werewolves. It can fight vampires. It becomes magical. And only the priests can do it. So now priests are gaining power. And they are worshipped themselves. People believe in the priests now. So now you have armed raiding parties. And these raiding parties are going out hunting for the things out there. So you're forcing things back and allowing... they have a major city called Glasny. And Glasny's allowed to grow. They can really do stuff now. But, as with everything, right... It is lacking in stuff. Innistrad doesn't have any elves. It doesn't have dwarves or gnomes. Okay, it doesn't have any other races. It's just humans. Now, the angels that are there, they are few in number. Okay, they're not these massive numbers. This world is taken totally in a horror gothic vein. Now, Edgar Markov, the guy who creates these first vampires, he's not dead. He's actually still alive when this is all going down. So unlike other worlds where you hear about this great creator guy and then he dies off, Edgar's still alive. He's a vampire himself. He's still living there, which may be one of the reasons why Soren visits. And Avacyn herself is long since dead since, I guess, after what? Around War of the Spark? She went insane because of what Nihiri did. Nihiri blames Soren for wrecking Zendikar, so she went over and brought Emrakul and drove basically a whole bunch of people insane, including Avacyn, and she started slaughtering people. So Soren had to come unmake her after she almost killed Jace and them. So it hasn't been like all, good stuff. And now they're trying to find this new balance because what happened was Avacyn did cast a thing called the Curse Mate and turned some werewolves into good guys who now protect humans. So there's kind of a new kind of balance right now, but it's still not perfect, and Soren is doing a lot more common visits. So it's kind of cool. So that is the world of Innistrad. That's the plane it is. And they really focus, guys, I'll be honest, they focus on a very small area. It took a long time to find enough lore to fill a whole video, but it's a very small area. So they haven't really discussed how big the whole planet is, but there's dark forest everywhere. The whole place seems very gloomy. So I'd love to see if they explore it further to really broaden out that world in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the video tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And this is our little visit of the plane of Innistrad. It's a pretty cool place, man. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Leave some comments below. Have a great one. Oh, enjoy the weekend. Happy Halloween to everyone, because it's Halloween time. And this is the end of the weekend. I did 3 videos today. That's crazy, I know. Gotta have my nachos and cheese. Gonna have to reheat them now. They've gone cold. But I promised a video. I deliver. You guys have a great one. Stay safe. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you all here tonight. And remember, you ain't leading 2 things but right now. Jack and Jack left town. It's the one in the car we want. I love that line. I don't know why. Have a good one.